Wow, here we are. What a beautiful, beautiful evening, night, morning, day, wherever you are. Hello, how is my name? Those who do not know who I am a relationship intuitive coach, helping you to really gain freedom and break the unseen chains of codependency. Break free from those painful emotions that we have held into for a very long time. There's there's a lot that is happening. There's a lot that is calling forth to be released. There is a lot that is being questioned. How we have been basically living our lives, what we have been being truly, because for a long time we have been doing. So now the time is just to be. Now the time is truly to heal. Now the time is truly to show up authentically as us and express the love that we are. Hence today's topic, love does not hurt. What hurts is the resistance of love. What hurts is the description of love, is what we expect of love. When we put love into a certain box, when we call certain things and say this is what we describe as love, one of them being enabling certain behaviors, not showing up authentically because we do not want to belong, looking for excuses, crying, being rewarded for being victims. And we think that is love. And when someone shows up and gives us love, even the universe, that which you call source or whatever that is showing up to match where we are at, is showing up to match the love that we have within us. And the question is, are we willing to truly honor the love that we are? Or we prefer to sit in and deny ourselves the love that we are? This is the question that I want to ask you. As I said, as a child, when the voice echoed out of my mouth saying, I know you hate me, saying these words to my mother. And I know you hate me. As I said these words to my mom, I felt a part of me shattering, and I could see the shock in her face. And probably this was the first time I've said it so strongly, because I was also in that moment where I was completely broken. And she looked at me and she said with a broken heart. It was the first time that I felt her. I guess my heart was so broken by the experiences that I was going through in my life. The time when I was lost, I was not working. I was just in between a lot of things. I was in the edge of losing my children, or fighting for my children, as we call it. There was a lot of fear. I didn't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I was even scared. I had a lot of fear for even my mom's life because she was not well. But I could not hold those words anymore, those feelings anymore within me. I uttered those words. I know you hate me. And she said, no, I love you. But as your mother, I was never taught to express love. I was never taught to cherish, embrace, praise the child who does good. Because from what I've learned in my culture is that when you do that, the child becomes big-headed. Therefore, for most of my life, there was this dance, this fight of unexpressed love between me and my mom. And me as a child, through the protection that she was trying to protect me, trying to teach me what she knew, and me coming through as I was coming through as an individual, a soul who really has her own opinion and who is on her mission. I felt unloved. I fell into the condition, the fears, the unexpressed emotions and all that. And through that pain that I could see and feel from everyone around me, there's a lot that was just going a lot that was going on. But most of all, there was this description of how she has to love me. That's how I showed up to say, for me to truly know that she loves me, this is how she has to love me. And I went through that even in a relationship with that, not loving myself truly and not even knowing what love is, but being afraid at the same time to really express myself, to serve those around me, which is truly be myself. When I show up with me, I'm able to share the love with everyone. I'm able to serve everyone differently because we are showing up differently, and what we need in every different time, it's totally unique for us. You can love someone, pamper someone when they're completely broken, when all they need is hope. But when someone is coming as well from maybe addiction or whatever, they need a kind of love, a different kind of love that will kind of like wake them up. And it's all love. When someone is not willing to stand and find their own truth, probably your purpose, especially when there is abuse, is toxic, all of you are hating and holding into each other, saying that thinking that love is basically attachment, because you've seen people going through it and holding into it for many years, tearing each other apart, breaking each other, and you sitting there because you think that love is truly holding and really not allowing the other person to breathe. Yet love exists in us, within us. It's who we are. It exists in every decision that we're making. Sometimes when you truly love someone, it means letting them free. You do not wait until someone probably dies and then you go look for another partner, because now it's like you are free. Why should you wait for someone's death for you to now be free? Why can you not set yourself free while the other person is alive, so that the freedom that you might get if you live longer, the other person is gifted with the same kind of freedom? Even by honoring and sharing the truth with each other from someone who has experienced some violence through alcoholism and all that when I was a child. The little child that I was when I grew up did not understand all of it. Because as I started opening my eyes and truly realizing what is, that those patterns were normal. But the little child that was in me has seen more than that, has stored all of that in me. And I was carrying that. And it was not surprising that even in relationship, I would attract the same traits that my father had. And I'll show up as the woman who is strong and willing to devote and commit to loving someone who is not emotionally available, and grieve. Grieve for the relationship that does not exist. Grieve for the loss of my personality, the loss of who I truly am. Because I think love is suffering. Because these are the templates that most of us have been born into. No one talks about this. Yes, we are not breathing. And I still remember one of the days when I was shown by that which you call the higher intelligence. I was shown how much I'm suffering. I was shown how much I cannot breathe. I looked at everything playing in front of me, and I looked at it when everything was over, and I was like, oh my God, this is my life. But the conditioning in me said how the reason why you are not breathing is because you do not love the other person as they are. I wanted to twist that interpretation, to twist and interpret that somehow the way I wanted, because I've been conditioned that when you stay in some relationship or whatever, you have to stay in it forever. You have to fight with all that is, because when someone is showing up the way they're showing up and really committing to who they believe they are, even if you can see that it's hurting themselves or it's hurting even a relationship. For instance, if someone is living a life, when I talk about alcoholism, someone chooses to drink and you are always scared, you don't know what's going to happen next. You choose to live a life where you have to lie to protect the other. And you telling me that is love, while enabling a behavior that is not going to serve the other. That's pain. That's really stealing life from someone by an illusion that you are loving. And when I was called by so many things that were showing up in my life, by the pain that I was in, because I could not love while I'm busy judging and naming the other person. And we do that a lot. He is crazy. She is crazy. She is a narcissist. He is a narcissist. She is very abusive. He is very abusive. We call them names. We judge them. She is a devil. They are a devil and all that. Even in a relationship, whether it's mother to child, we sit with it because we've been programmed to believe that if someone is a child or your parent, they have to be a certain way. And if you show up and say, I don't feel loved, then it's shame that you have to live with. So the best thing is for you to be in pain and pretend and show up with a coat and claim that everything is okay or perfect, these words that we just throw around. What does that really mean if you cannot truly sit and love each other in their fullness, in their brokenness? Because you are in it, you are consumed in it. The only thing that you can see while you cannot breathe is that which is. And the moment you give yourself permission to stand there and give them the chance to breathe and give them the permission to choose who they truly want to be and how they truly want to express themselves in this lifetime. When you move into that and heal your wounds, because that which we call love is the path, we've seen that through the eyes of our wounds. If you've been raised up where there was wounded, there was abandonment and all that, you are going to love from abandonment. You are going to love from lack. You are going to love from the I'm not enough. And therefore you want to hold so badly. You are not willing to set each other free because you believe love is truly sucking life out of each other, is truly holding and tearing each other apart. Yet love does not need someone to be with you. You can love someone from a distance. This is why there is the importance of even knowing who you are. When you truly do not love yourself because you have never felt loved enough as a child, you cannot love the other. That's why when I talk about healing your wounds, breaking the unseen chains of codependency, is truly breaking free from all those conditioning and programming so that you can really find who you are. Because when you truly love yourself unconditionally, love yourself through the wounds that have been created by the programming and the conditioning that you've been brought up into, the templates that you've been in even before you were born, that's when you can look at each other in that brokenness and love them unconditionally. Because you don't have to love them by saying that, be with me. We talk about God, going to church or whatever, or praying from home or whatever that we do, however that you experience that source. Truly, that source is in all of us. Truly, that source in every single living thing that is surrounding us. It's in every single situation. And probably the love for you to truly wake up from who you thought you've been or who you've been conditioned and programmed to be is for you to really feel that pain by seeing it. And when you look through the pain and really feel into it and wake up and realize that for me to truly love the other person, I have to love myself. I have to love the other person as they are. I hear that there is no voice. If someone else is listening and you can hear me, please let me know so that I don't continue talking and there is no voice. Probably it's only someone's connection alone. Please let me know. I'll be waiting for your response. Diamond, anyone? Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, my beloved sister. I guess the problem is with you. Mohakuludu, please check your connection. Yes. So I'm just gonna go back to what I was saying to say love truly starts with us. If you truly love yourself, and when I'm saying love yourself, I'm not talking about loving the bright side of us, loving the light in us, loving the person who is shining with a smile. I'm talking about loving your wounds, loving the things that you did not love even as a child. And that is not easy. That's now when you start working, or you're doing the work. It's by looking at those things you hated, those things that you sit with in the darkness. And you're afraid that if someone can really find who I really am, I don't know if they would love me. But the moment you start loving that part of you, you are not afraid what other people would say. You show up with those wounds because you know you are not the wounds. You are the light. You are the love. And when you come from there, you are willing to truly hold space for the other, even if it means letting them go. You let them go and know that the love does not end. It's just, it changes form in a way. Because love is who you are. How can you truly not love the other? Even when it comes to being with our parents, if at all you have narcissistic parents or critically abusive, whatever, because these things we call in them when you talk about romantic relationships, while in actual truth, the core of the issue is coming from when we were still children. It's coming from our families. It's not even starting with you or your mother. It's something that it is generational. It's the trauma that has been there, but it has been put into something and cocooned, and we have let it to blossom in there because it's something that most of us are afraid of. We want to show up as something that will be celebrated in the society. Yet for us to truly be celebrated, we should be able to look into those wounds and wear them, knowing that that's where our deepest lessons come from. This is why I'm showing up and saying, the time when I was really broken, with no job, nothing, no relationship, nothing, fighting in court for my children. And I felt like if I lose these children, I would have lost all of me, because for me, my identity, at that point, I was holding to identity of a mother. I was walking around looking for a job, not really for me. I was looking for the job for my children. The how did not exist. That's why for me, the Lord that I serve, the God that we talk about, found it really purposefully, divinely for me not to be with my children, so that I can be truly naked. Truly naked. Who am I? I don't have a job. I don't have my children. Who am I? As I was fighting, as every mother, we can say, I'm going to fight. I'll kill for my children. I'll do everything for my children. And even in relationship, we do that. I'll fight for my man. I'll fight for this. I'll fight for my family. Are you willing to look into your family and say, when you are doing this, it does not really serve you? And not care whether they're going to like it or not, because what you're saying is the authentic truth that might help them. Probably the sole agreement that you've had with each other is that I'll come. And as much as I truly, deeply love you, as I see the bright light that you are, I am willing to face you and let you know the truth that you are. That's being of service. Having an agreement with another soul, that which you might not deem as a soulmate. It might be someone who you have agreed with to say, we're going to come together. We're going to have children. And I'll show you that being in your powerlessness, thinking that you are nothing, thinking that you are not loved enough, all the abandonment issues that you have, all the sadness that you've been carrying for eons of time, how I'll make you feel that and more if you don't wake up to your truth. And that's why when I held into the identity of a mother, and that was the only thing that I was breathing in, that was the only thing that was helping me to take oxygen every day, I said, I don't care if I die now, but for the sake of my children, I'll keep going. But the God that is in me and in you said, no, these children do not belong to you. The problem with you, you think these are yours. But these are souls who have been brought into this world. They are on a mission. And you are also on a mission. You have been on a mission. The time when you decided I'm going to earth, you had a mission. The time when you chose your parents and families, you are on a mission. Those experiences that you've had them for a purpose. But are you willing to look through and find the purpose? Are you willing to do the work? I had to do the work when this was called forth. That's why when I raged and totally brokenness and say to my mom, I know you hate me. The little girl in me believed that for 30 plus years. That was my truth. And as much as I truly believed that from the core of who I was, I tried by all means to try and satisfy and fulfill and do everything to be appreciated by this woman. Because the little girl that I was had a description of what love could be. But the love that I needed was showing up as the best thing that my mom could give me. The strength that I needed showed up through what she gave me. There's no better gift that she would have given me than what she had given me. I wouldn't have woken up to really what I'm here to do. I wouldn't have woken up to the woman who is willing to say, I've had enough of grief. I've seen it through my mother, and I'm not willing to carry it forward and hand it over to my kids. I'm not willing to join into the crowd of the normal, to keep on lying to myself and other people, wearing a smile that does not mean anything, holding into things. If someone buys you a bouquet of flowers or takes me for a trip, despite how much they've insulted me, despite how much they have taken me down, I was not willing to just hold into those things because other people will think she's living well because maybe I'm wearing a brand or anything. I was not willing to hate someone because they are willing to give me a gift that I've agreed to. And yes, when you talk about love, we think love hurts. I was in that moment when truly what was really breaking, truly what was hurting is the walls that I've built when I was a child. And that's what was being broken when I opened my heart to love. When I truly held into so many things in many different relationships, where it was even something that by then I did not think it was love. When now everything open, even the boss that I had at some point in time, who looked at me and criticized me and somehow showed up however he showed up, even at that time when I felt so small, when everything was opened in front of me and said, see this beauty, how see this beauty. Are you willing to carry on with hatred from the people who really took you from where you were not supposed to be? Had that boss not showed up and showed you that you are nothing, had you not been belittled, had fraud not happened in your presence, by this moment you still be holding into the job that was not meant to be yours. You still be holding into something that was holding you hosted. You wouldn't be experiencing your true freedom. Even those relationships, had you held into them because you wanted them to be a certain way, you wouldn't be who you are. Are you willing to look through and see the gifts? And I know like people say it's easier said than done. I'm saying it's easier done than said because most of the times you can hear something, learn something, and say, oh, I know how to go around this. We need healings because we are all wounded. And the truth of it, as long as you're holding judgment, I don't know how I fell in love with that guy. What did I see in that guy at that moment? You saw yourself. The part of you that got attracted to that particular person, the part of you that held on for so long, the part of you that is judging and looking down, that's the part that you're carrying until you look truly deep and really love this part of yours and truly love that which you call whatever that you call from the other person. That's when you'll experience what love is. That source, you cannot go and say, I'm going to pray to source, I'm going to love the God. I was giving someone an example today saying that we are like a puzzle. This is a bigger puzzle. It's a puzzle as big as this. This is the source that we are talking about. And you are one of that puzzle. And everyone is that part of the puzzle. And it's not your job to try and fit someone into this puzzle. Your job is to fit yourself into this puzzle for you to see the beauty of everything. And that means healing your wounds. That means willing to say, I am not willing to just enable other certain behaviors. If someone is not willing to make a radical change by taking action, I'm willing to take myself out of it. Probably your agreement, your soul agreement was that we're going to be together. You're going to fall madly in love with me. And I'm going to let you find yourself while you're falling in love with me by not being with you if you're not willing to truly find yourself. Because if you believe someone loves you and they love you so much, they'll really die for you. That's not love. And that's not the love that I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who says, babes, I love myself so much. I'm willing to give myself this opportunity to go and connect with myself. I am not just going to go around with all the wounds and the abandonment, wanting to hold into someone to feel like I matter or anything. Heal your wounds. And I'm sharing my stories with you so that you don't go around saying how, oh, her life is like this. Oh, she said, oh, I see myself in that only. Don't hold into, I know, I'm aware. Take some action. Because even when I was called, when I was shown everything, when I was called into all of this, I was told how you've got some work to do. I didn't want to do any work. The hatred was so much. The righteousness was so much. The programming and the conditioning was so, I didn't want to listen to any of it. But the question was, the one that truly woke me up was, are you willing to be with the children? And now I look back and I realize I was not going to love these children and give them what they truly need if I held into an idea of love that I had for my children. I was not going to love them because they needed both of us. The agreement that we had was for both of us to be present. As I see this behavior as well in my son, who some of the things is what he has learned when I allowed myself to be in certain condition and certain things were said and I sat in it. And I realize now that I cannot do this on my own. This child here needs his father. And now imagine if you are holding into hatred. Where would you call this father in place? Are you going to call the uncle, your brother, your whatever, and all that and all that? Let me tell you something. When we come here into this beautiful earth, we have souls with the people that we have chosen. We have chosen as our mother and father. It doesn't matter whether your father has never seen you. I'm not saying go and look for your father. I'm saying heal the wounds that you have. It doesn't matter if you feel that your mother has never loved you. The question is, are you now ready to heal your wounds so that you can parent that inner child that is still throwing tantrum, that inner child that is still looking for love somewhere else? Because the only person that you have been looking for and the person that you are truly looking for is you. For you to be able to love and serve the other person is by being able to choose the things that are functional for you, knowing that love is in everything. Love is in that which you call pain. Love is in that which could be a diagnosis that you do not want to accept. Love is truly, love is love. Love is all we are. Love is that which you judge as devil. Love is that who you call narcissist or whatever. It doesn't matter who the person is according to some certain descriptions that they were given. The question is who is showing up. Because if you are showing up, it doesn't matter whether someone is a psychopath or narcissist. You are willing to stand up on for yourself and call proper help. But if you are afraid, you are going to be swallowed by that. And then the only thing is to blame the other person, to call people by names. Yet, in truth, we have an agreement. There's nothing that happens without agreeing with it, consciously or unconsciously. If you truly love yourself, you know that love means doing some work. You know that love means setting boundaries. You know love means authentically showing up as you, not apologizing for who you are. You know that love means truly looking at your wounds and really loving them. That means healing. And this is the space that I hold, especially for women who knows that they are more than what they have shown up as, but somehow they have bent down and kneeled and begged and what because they want to fit a description of what a woman has been defined as in the society and communities. At times we meet people who are going to basically ask ourselves energetically or loudly, verbally or whatever, are you willing to dim your light so that I can feel comfortable? Some people show up like that. Even in our families, it's still the same story. But the question is, are you willing to say no? I want to shine my my light so bright. And you can choose to shine yours, or you can choose to be small. But I'm going to be here and allow you to be who you are. You are not going to take someone, if someone wants to be in pain forever, you are not going to take them out of the pain and say, I want you to be something else. They will choose to be that when the time comes. The best thing that you can do is be who you are. Make decisions that are rightfully for you. That's what we call love. Not wanting to belong so badly that you are willing to, what we call, sell your soul for that, because your soul is your soul and it's unique, and that is rightfully so. That's what I wanted to share with you guys, that love is what we are. Love is in this corona. Love is in this isolation. Love is in those fights and arguments and everything that you are having with those people that you are locked down with. And the question is, what are you willing to choose afterwards? Are you willing to still go on into the normal, that which was? The choice is yours. We are free souls, and there is free will. And there is no intervention that can come through without you raising your hand and seeking for help. And I'm showing up for you. If you feel it's time, book a call and let's have a conversation. I'm talking about my story so that you can find yourself in my story. If you resonate and you feel there is something that you want to share with me and you can find out how I can help you or how you can move past that, I'm here to hold space for you. My desire is for you to find yourself as I found myself. It's for you to heal your relationships and truly gain that which you call freedom, which is that which we are as souls. Whatever that you're looking for, you are not looking for someone to love you. You are looking for yourself to love you. You are looking for yourself to guarantee and to give yourself permission to totally and finally be you and experience this beautiful, amazing life that you are here to be, not to do. Thank you, beloved ones, for being with me. Diamond, Tsase, Morakuludi, beloved sister Luda, and hi, Wuno. It's been a while. Patronella. Thank you guys. Love you so much. And yeah, I'll leave you with that. Bye bye. Till next time.